Hi everyone, welcome to the muster drill. I'm Scott on board the Carnival Sunshine. We're on our first sea day back to Charleston. Hi everyone, welcome back. So it's been a great, amazing cruise on the Carnival Sunshine. We've had just the greatest weather. It's been sunny every day. It's been nice and warm. Now the ocean has not been in a good mood, and this ship has been moving back and forth almost the entire cruise. I think we only probably have had 2 days so far where it was not rocking and rolling. But despite all of that, it's really been a great cruise. There's been so much happening on board. All the crew on all the ships are really amazing, special people, that just go to the nth degree to make everybody happy and accommodated. From the main dining room staff that have just bent over backwards to be, as accommodating to me. Now, I haven't really asked them for too much. I just asked to be seated in an area where I wasn't this close to the table next to me. I just didn't want to be in that situation. I won't go into all of the particulars about it, but I'm immune compromised and I'm not afraid of COVID, but I have to take precautions, Everybody takes precautions. If you broke your arm, you probably wouldn't go and climb a tree afterwards. And my cabin steward, he's just been the greatest. He has just taken such good care of me. So, I'm really grateful for all of his hard work and for the hard work of all of the crew around the ship. I had an opportunity to speak to a crew member, and that crew member, who shall remain anonymous, had pointed out something to me that I hadn't really thought about. So even though the passengers are now allowed to take their masks off, the crew aren't. And for some crew, especially the cabin stewards, they're working really, really hard on embarkation day to turn all the cabins over from the previous sailing. And as you can imagine, as they're working really hard, it's really hard for them to breathe. And with masks on, it's even harder for them to breathe. So hopefully the cruise lines will make that change sooner than later, and I'm sure the crew will be very grateful for that. So before I get too far down the rabbit hole of talking about this cruise and all of the things that have been happening and the things that I like and I don't like and so forth, I wanted to talk a little bit about the embarkation, debarkation process. Now, if you remember, I talked a little bit about the embarkation in my first video and how different and unique it was from any of the other cruise ports I had been to. Well, the debarkation process is equally unique. Now, if you're familiar with the typical debarkation process from a cruise ship, you'll know that the cruise director comes over the announcement speakers and calls out all of the luggage tag numbers and decks and stuff that they're calling, and tells you that it's now time for you to come down to, whatever the main debarkation deck is. It varies from ship to ship, but in any event, they make all those announcements over the loudspeakers. In Charleston, they're not allowed to do that because of a noise ordinance. So the way that the Sunshine handles this, or I assume any ship that's sailing out of Charleston, is they do it all through the television. So they must have had to deal with a noise situation or noise complaints from Charleston residents, because they even went as far as to request that people not set off their car alarms, I guess, in the parking lot trying to find out where they left their car. So apparently that has been a problem in the past, because I can't imagine that they would be so specific as to say, please don't do that, if they hadn't had to deal with that. And I guess the way they addressed it with the city, officials was that they would make the specific announcement on the ship that, please don't set your car alarms off. And then to finish it all off, you basically go in the reverse order of the embarkation. So you get off the ship, you go through the small terminal building that's right at the ship, you get on a shuttle bus, it takes you down to the parking lot and drops you off there, the same place that it picked you up. So it's basically just the reverse. So that's, very unique and very different for getting on and off the Sunshine here in Charleston than in any other port. And I really felt like that it was important for me to mention that in this video. Cruising is pretty much the same as it was before the shutdown, with the exception of these, few COVID protocols, the vaccines, the testing, the masks, and now the masks are gone as well. And now that the testing interval has been extended from 48 back to 72 hours, which is the way it was when cruising first restarted, I really believe that it's probably time to get rid of the testing mandate as well, because so many opportunities for you to pick up COVID between the time you've tested and the time you get on the ship. What is testing really doing? I mean, is it really protecting the ship from a bunch of people walking on board with COVID? And when you're using these home tests, they've been saying that these home tests and stuff don't work very well and at detecting, some of these newer variants. And a lot of people are using this Buy Next Now thing, to do the test from home, the eMed thing or whatever. And that's just using a home test, but somebody's watching you take it on a camera. I mentioned before that the Carnival Sunshine used to be the Carnival Destiny. It is by far one of my favorite Carnival ships, especially the older Carnival ships. Now, ultimately, my favorite ship is the Mardi Gras, but that's just me. That's this thing about cruising. Every cruiser has a different aspect about cruising that they like. Some people like the older, smaller ships. Some people like the newer, bigger ships and all the stuff going on. And I'm just one of those people that likes the newer, bigger ships. But I really like the Carnival Sunshine a lot. It's probably one of my favorite older ships, just because it has so many of the amenities and so many of the design aspects of the newer ships, which you just don't find, like, let's say on like the Pride or the Valor or the Glory. One of the things that I'm sure all of us love about Carnival is Serenity. So if you don't know, Serenity, adults only area on Carnival ships, and it's just a nice, relaxing, most of the time quiet place to just go and chill, and you don't have to worry about any kids and stuff like that running around. Although sometimes on some Carnival ships, the Serenity deck is so close to like the water park that you can still hear all the noise from the water park. But in any event, one of the things I love about the Sunshine is Serenity on the Sunshine is 3 decks high. Now on Mardi Gras, the Serenity deck is really large, but it's the biggest ship that Carnival has, so you would expect that. On the Sunshine, Serenity is 3 decks tall, and it's got a decent sized pool on the middle deck and a waterfall and everything else. So it's really just unique, I think, out of all the other Carnival ships. And I really love it. If there is one thing about this cruise that hasn't been absolutely perfect, and that's been the internet. Now, for most people, that's not going to matter. For me, it does. And if it matters to you, it's something that you should know. I just wanted to point it out. Not going to say anything more about it. So I also wanted to mention about some of the great entertainment that's been going on this ship. So I've been walking around and just been taking in. The shows have been great. All the entertainment. There's been a lot of music on the ship, and there's this one. All the performers are great. I don't want to single anybody out necessarily, but there is one musical act on the ship. I believe it's the Lydia Cash duo. Those two are amazing. I love the music that they've been playing, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them. And I wanted to mention one last time that even though the embarkation process in Charleston is different than any other port that I've ever gotten on a cruise ship at, that doesn't mean that it was slow or bad or inefficient. Even though it had a bunch of extra steps, every step was smooth and quick, and the shuttle bus, was just a short shuttle ride down the street, and we were on the ship. So I've had a great cruise and just an amazing time, and I'm looking at my towel animal back here, and I'm wondering if my cabin steward isn't trying to remind me that on Monday I'm going to be hopping on a plane and flying back to wintertime. But hopefully that won't last very long, because I'm going to be getting on the Carnival Legend on March 13th. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I can't wait to bring you videos from that cruise as well. So I think that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. And then don't forget to click the subscribe button. It won't cost you anything. You click it once and you're done, and it'll really help us out a lot. And then don't forget to click the notification bell so that you know every time we upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.